Alright guys, today I'm talking about my welding setup that I just acquired. The helmet and the welder itself came from Yeswelder, that's the brand, and my cart, I believe, is off Amazon. I bought it used. Alright, this is the cart I picked up. I believe this is at Northern Tool for 150 or 175, something like that. But I got this on someone off Craigslist for 50 bucks, and it was new in the box. Construction was pretty poor, unless they sold it to me because it was damaged. I had to, so the slides for this are on the inside of these machines, or inside of this one, either wall. And one of them had the rivets completely out. I don't remember which side, but and so I had to re-rivet the slides, and then the other one that was still intact was bent. So as you see, these don't slide so great, you know, but this one, that one does all right. And then there's this one that also struggles. With that said, for what this is, you know, I paid $50. I'm 65% off, right? And we're gonna use it. It's gonna work. Holds the gas bottle, holds my helmet, the welder itself, a couple other little things, whatever I can put on it. Okay, so here's the helmet I got. This was 40 bucks. I think if you get it on sale, it's a little bit less, off Yeswelder.com. Here it is. It is LYGL 500A. So let's open this. So this is a pretty entry-level helmet, but I'm a pretty entry-level welder, so it's gonna work out. And comes with, what does it come with? It comes with some extra glass for the front and your operator's manual. With that said, this is pretty straightforward, not too much needed. Looks like there's a little bit of plastic I could remove still. So it looks cool. I mean, it looks nice. Nice. Okay, so this is our variable shade control. On the inside here, we're going to have your delay from when it goes auto bright, auto dark, and then your sensitivity. I'd start right about here. Max delay and 50% sensitivity. Probably about half in that too, and you making adjustments as you go. All right, so that's going to be my helmet. Now let's go over to the welder I purchased. I purchased this off the Yeswelder brand. It's the First Test DP200, which is good for up to 3/8 inch thick steel. 3/8 inch thick if you're running max power in your 230 volt setting. It does have both 110 or 230 plug applications, and as you can see here, it is multi-process. You got your MIG, you got your flux core. Notice your MIG needs a bottle, your TIG, your stick. All right, so I've not opened this yet, so let's open it. All right, so this is how it came out the box. I did not order the graffiti edition. I wanted the standard look, so that's what I got. Let's see, does this open? Yes, it does. All right, so that's where your wire is going to go. It does come with the 220 or 230 volt, whatever this is, plug as the main one. There's this. What's on this side? This side doesn't look like. So this is everything that it comes with. Got some wire, some hose, the adapter cord, and a MIG gun. So a couple things you have to buy if you're using every single process. For me, I bought it mainly for MIG work. For the local stuff on cars, trailers, whatever I need to do on this channel, as you see as I build stuff. And but yeah, let's get her set up on the cart. Okay, we got it on the cart here, and I've used it a couple times. As you see, my screen's getting foggy. As you can see, the screen's kind of getting foggy. I did contact Yeswelder about that, and they did send me a new one, so I gotta figure out how to put that on. I think most people who are buying this are beginner welders for the most part, and so everybody's gonna be using flux. I'm gonna take a guess. All right, so get your wire. I've got this Hobart 35,000s. This is particular wire that I use right here. Got it at Northern Tool. All right, you don't need it crazy tight, not for flux. Check the owner's manual. The kit comes with a bunch of these, so you're gonna want the kind like this if you're using the flux. There's different types of wheels. All right, so let's compare. See how there's kinds with smooth. The smooth ones are for the MIG with gas, and the bumpy ones are for the flux core. So pick the right one. Each row has the size on it. Here's 30 on this side, 35 on this side. So pick the right one that you need. Screw this off, put your thing on. Make sure it goes down in the groove that you're using. Push that back down, come back up, and that'll be ready. So this is a decent wire. It's not the cheapest though, being Hobart. All right, so one thing what might make sense, so this is a ground clamp, so you might think it makes logical sense to put the ground into the ground side. As you can see, there's plus minus down here, which is true for MIG. For flux, you're gonna switch them. So this one over here is gonna go to the negative, and the ground clamp is gonna go to the positive for flux. Okay, that's important because you'll have them backwards and you'll get a lot of splatter if you don't. All right, so power button's right back here. Let's see it come on. Now, one thing I had to learn is that so I've got it on 1/4 inch right now, then this is not correct. You need more than 60 amps for 1/4 inch. So even if you go over here and click it again, it stays there. So remember 200 amps is the full setting, so you should be close to 200. So go over to this, now it changes, and click it back, and that's where you're gonna be to weld 1/4 inch. So just make sure it's the right number-ish. Factory settings, you're gonna have to change your wire size, what you're running. I've got this set up on the flux setting. It'll say it up here. If you're near the top, you're gonna be closer to 200, right? It knows that when it first turns on, the setting's off. So we're gonna weld up this little piece right here on a spoiler for a truck that I'm kind of building. And we're gonna tack it here. And then at the end, I'll show you what this welder. I'm a very much a beginner. Just like this 3rd or 4th piece I've made in my welding career is this spoiler right here. So as you can see, I'm going to be grinding all this out. But this long pass was like the first try with this welder before I figured out what I was doing wrong about the settings. I was trying to weld everything initially at that 60 amp setting, and then I had these two flipped, and that's a problem. It causes a lot of splatter, and it caused these worm-like giant lumps. All right, guys, so this is my first pass with the polarity correct on this piece right here, and that is great in terms of there's no splatter anymore. Just that little bit, y'all don't even know how bad some of this was. So for me to see, I even had good penetration. There's that line going through. For me to see this, and that was the excess of my splatter, I definitely got the settings on point now, and at this point it's just practice getting everything nice. So so my end result for this video, I'm gonna say Is this a good welder as a professional? I can't say for sure. As a beginner, I think it's a great welder. I just bought it for flux core. If I have MIG in the future with gas, I assume it'll do well, as that's kind of how it's advertised, the dual pulse whatever. But so that's what a guy who's been welding for just a couple months can expect on his first pass with all the settings correct. And so as I practice, this is going to be nice and smooth and super easy to clean up. No, that's really nothing. And I haven't done the other side. Here's my tack. Just to do this solid. There's one of my tacks, nice and clean. Just gotta make that pass up there. And I got one down there that's good enough. It doesn't look like it's that strong, but another example. So I built this tractor hitch, if you see my other video. And during that video, I was complaining about the splatter. So if you don't have your polarity correct, look at the difference in splatter from what you just saw. You got wholly porous stuff, and then there's just so much grinding to clean this all up that I was glad that I ended up getting some good passes here on the key points. So every now and then with the polarity off, you do get good passes, but it's nasty if you don't have it right. So get your settings right before you start building anything. I made the mistake of building this without having too much practice. The funny thing is, this thing is killer strong. I can pull dead weight 1,000+ pounds I've already done with this tractor, and everything's held together just fine. So I think it's plenty strong either way, but it just doesn't look as pretty. And obviously, if you're trying to sell this or work for yourself, you need stuff to look decent too. So that was the second piece. First piece I ever welded solo with this machine. And I had started on this spoiler. And I just still didn't have everything right, and that's why I had all the bubbles still. And you can see here, I had all the bubbles still, just like that hitch, because my polarity was incorrect. I had these two flipped. All right, so when it's flux, like I said before, the ground clamp goes onto the positive side, and this feed goes into the negative. So you wouldn't think that, right? You always think ground clamp goes negative, but when you're doing flux, not the case. If I went to MIG, I'd flip them back, right? But, and look at the difference. Almost no splatter compared to the other one. Grinder will clean up that in just a few seconds. So, beginner welder, I think great. I think you can even, build some cool stuff with this with some practice. So that's all I'm going to demo for this video. My Amazon affiliate link's in the description. If you want to purchase it through me, that would help me out a little bit. But I like it. It's going to be the one I keep in the fabrication corner of my garage for flux and for gas if I get to it in the future. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching.